and celebrated Lyra's bravery and musical gift. The tale of the Melody of the Moonstone became a cherished story in Larkspur, a reminder of the power of hope, music, and the light that can be found even in the darkest times. And so, the Moonstone Tree continued to stand at the heart of Moonvale, its melodies echoing through the night and reminding all who heard them of the magic that resides in the purest of hearts. Once upon a time, in the heart of a sprawling kingdom named Seraphina, there lay a quaint village called Moonbrook. Moonbrook was famed for its nightly displays of celestial wonders, as the village was blessed with the clearest night skies where stars glittered like scattered diamonds. The villagers cherished the evenings when the skies sparkled the most, for it was during these nights that the Dreamweaver, a mysterious figure shrouded in legend, was said to appear. The Dreamweaver was known to possess a magical lantern that could capture dreams and weave them into reality. This lantern was said to be crafted from the very light of the stars and could grant a single wish to those who were truly in need. Despite the many tales about the lantern's powers, it had been many years since anyone had seen the Dreamweaver. One crisp autumn evening, the village of Moonbrook faced an unprecedented crisis. A terrible drought had struck, leaving the once lush fields barren and the rivers dry. The villagers, known for their resilience and harmony, began to lose hope as their crops withered and their wells ran dry. Desperate for a solution, a young girl named Amara decided to seek out the Dreamweaver and ask for the lantern's aid. Amara was known for her kind heart and unwavering optimism. With a warm scarf around her shoulders and a small satchel of essentials, she set out on her journey under the starlit sky. Guided by the stories she had heard, she followed a path that led her into the Whispering Forest, where the Dreamweaver was rumored to appear. As Amara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered 3 magical guardians, each testing her courage and purity of heart. The first guardian was a wise old owl named Oswin, who perched high upon a gnarled branch. Oswin's eyes glowed with ancient knowledge as he spoke in riddles. To pass this trial, Amara had to solve the riddle of the stars, which spoke of balance and the harmony of the cosmos. Amara listened intently and answered with sincerity, showing her understanding of the balance between giving and receiving. Impressed, Oswin allowed her to continue. Next, Amara arrived at a tranquil pond, where a playful water sprite named Elara danced among the lily pads. Elara, known for her trickery, challenged Amara to a game of reflection. She cast illusions upon the water's surface, and Amara had to discern the truth from the illusions to find the true path forward. By focusing on her inner truth and intentions, Amara navigated the reflections and found her way to the other side of the pond. Elara, recognizing Amara's purity, granted her passage. The final trial was the trial of the moonlit path. Amara entered a glade illuminated by a soft, silvery glow from the moon. The path was lined with glowing stones that changed colors and shapes, creating a maze of shifting light. To pass this trial, Amara had to remain steadfast and true to her goal despite the confusing illusions. With determination and a clear heart, she followed the path of the stones, guided by the light of her own hopes and dreams. At the end of the moonlit path, Amara arrived at a secluded clearing where the Dreamweaver's lantern hung from an ancient oak tree. The lantern's light was gentle yet radiant, casting a serene glow across the clearing. The Dreamweaver, a figure cloaked in shimmering stardust, emerged from the shadows and greeted Amara with a warm, knowing smile. "You have shown great courage and sincerity on your journey," the Dreamweaver said. "What is it that you wish for?" Amara spoke from her heart. "Our village is suffering from a terrible drought. We need rain to restore our lands and bring life back to our crops." The Dreamweaver nodded and touched the lantern. The lantern's light intensified, and a gentle mist began to rise from it. With a graceful movement, the Dreamweaver released the light into the night sky. The mist transformed into soft, shimmering raindrops that began to fall gently upon the land. Amara returned to Moonbrook, her heart full of hope. As she arrived, the villagers watched in awe as the rain fell steadily, soaking into the parched earth and reviving their fields. The rivers began to flow once more, and the crops started to grow. The villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude, honoring Amara for her bravery and the Dreamweaver's magic. The lantern's light continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and wonder for the village. From that day on, the tale of Amara and the Dreamweaver's lantern was passed down through generations. The villagers of Moonbrook cherished the nights when the stars shone brightly and the lantern's light danced across the sky, reminding them of the power of dreams and the magic that lies within a pure heart. And so, in the kingdom of Seraphina, where the night skies sparkled with celestial wonders, the legend of the Dreamweaver and the magical lantern lived on, inspiring all who heard it to believe in the magic of hope and the light of their own dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil valley surrounded by emerald hills and shimmering lakes, there was a small village named Brookhaven. The village was known for its serenity and the magnificent Whispering Willow, a grand tree that stood at the heart of the village. This ancient willow was said to have the power to grant a single wish to anyone who could uncover its secret. The villagers revered the Whispering Willow for its calming presence, and its branches seemed to hum with ancient melodies on breezy days. However, the true secret of the tree remained a mystery to all. Each year, the villagers celebrated the Willow Festival, hoping that someone might discover the tree's hidden magic. Among the villagers was a curious and kind-hearted young girl named Amelia. Amelia loved listening to the stories about the Whispering Willow and dreamed of one day learning its secret. She lived with her grandmother, who had once been a renowned healer but now was too frail to travel far. Amelia often wished for a way to restore her grandmother's strength and vitality. One crisp autumn evening, as the Willow Festival approached, Amelia decided it was time to uncover the Whispering Willow's secret. With a determined heart, she set out toward the tree, guided by the soft glow of lanterns that adorned the village. As Amelia approached the Whispering Willow, she noticed its branches seemed to sway in a gentle, rhythmic pattern, almost as if they were beckoning her. She touched the rough bark and whispered, "Please, let me know your secret." A soft, melodic voice emerged from the tree. "To discover my secret, you must complete 3 tasks that reveal the truth of your heart. Only then will the magic be yours." Amelia's heart raced with excitement. She was ready to undertake the tasks. The Whispering Willow's voice continued, "The first task is the task of reflection. Seek the mirror lake and look within." Following the willow's guidance, Amelia made her way to Mirror Lake, a serene pond nestled in a hidden glen. The lake's surface was perfectly still, reflecting the sky and trees like a polished mirror. Amelia peered into the water and saw not only her reflection but also glimpses of her grandmother's face, filled with both happiness and concern. In the reflection, a riddle appeared, written in shimmering letters. To find the truth, one must see past the surface and understand what lies beneath. Amelia closed her eyes and thought deeply about her grandmother, her own dreams, and her true intentions. When she opened her eyes, she saw that the water had cleared, revealing a hidden path leading to a small, ancient door at the edge of the lake. Amelia approached the door and found a key hanging on a nearby branch, inscribed with the word, "Compassion." She took the key and continued on her journey. The second task was the task of harmony. Amelia arrived at the Glade of Echoes, where the sounds of the forest created a dissonant cacophony. In the center of the glade stood a large, ornate music box, but its mechanism was broken and the music was out of tune. To restore harmony, Amelia had to fix the music box by aligning its gears and tuning its strings. She listened to the natural sounds around her, the chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, and used these natural melodies to guide her. With patience and care, she repaired the music box, and a beautiful, harmonious melody filled the glade. As the music played, the dissonant sounds faded away, and the path to the final task was revealed. The third task, the task of courage, led Amelia to the enchanted cavern, a dark and mysterious cave filled with shimmering crystals. In the center of the cavern was a pedestal with a glowing lantern. Next to it was another inscription: "To uncover the secret, you must light the way through your fears." Amelia took a deep breath and approached the lantern. She felt a chill of fear but reminded herself of her love for her grandmother and her desire to help her. Summoning her courage, she lit the lantern with a small flame she carried and held it high. The cavern's walls illuminated, revealing a hidden passage. At the end of the passage was a grand chamber. And in the center stood an ancient, intricately carved chest. Amelia opened the chest to find a radiant crystal and a final note. The note read, "The Whispering Willow's magic is not in its power but in the truth of your heart. By showing compassion, harmony, and courage, you have unlocked the true magic." Amelia understood the message. The Whispering Willow's magic was a reflection of her own qualities. With the crystal in hand, she returned to the village, where the willow's branches swayed gently as if welcoming her back. Amelia placed the crystal at the base of the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches shimmered with a golden light, and a soft breeze carried a soothing melody through the air. The magic of the tree seemed to embrace the entire village, filling it with warmth and joy. Amelia's grandmother, touched by the magic, regained her strength and vitality. The village celebrated the newfound energy and joy that the Whispering Willow had brought. The tree's secret was not just in granting wishes but in the reminder that the greatest magic comes from within oneself. And so, Windmere thrived with the spirit of the Whispering Willow, and Amelia's bravery and kindness became a cherished story for generations to come. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was always painted in hues of twilight, there was a hidden kingdom called Lunaria. Lunaria was a wondrous place, where the moon's light bathed the land in a silvery glow, and every night was filled with gentle luminescence. The kingdom was ruled by Queen Selene, a wise and kind ruler who was known for her beauty and her deep connection with the moon. In the heart of Lunaria stood the Moonlit Palace, an elegant castle made of moonstone and silver, where the queen lived with her daughter, Princess Lyra. Lyra was a curious and adventurous young girl who loved exploring the enchanted forests and shimmering lakes of Lunaria. Though she cherished her home, she longed to discover the secrets of the world beyond the kingdom's borders. One evening, as the moon hung low and full in the sky, a mysterious figure appeared in the palace garden. It was a wandering minstrel named Elian, who had come from a distant land. Elian was known for his beautiful music and tales of faraway lands. He sang a song about a magical flower that bloomed only once every 100 years, known as the Midnight Blossom. According to legend, the Midnight Blossom had the power to grant one true wish to anyone who found it. Princess Lyra was enchanted by Elian's tale and decided that she wanted to find the Midnight Blossom and make a wish for the people of Lunaria to have everlasting happiness. With her mother's blessing, she set off on a journey with Elian, who agreed to be her guide. The journey took them through the Silver Forest, a dense woodland filled with towering trees whose leaves sparkled like stars. The forest was known for its enchantments and illusions. As they ventured deeper, the path seemed to twist and turn, and strange creatures of light and shadow danced around them. Their first challenge was a labyrinth of mirrors. Each mirror showed a different reflection, making it difficult to find the true path. Elian, with his musical skills, played a melody that calmed the reflections, allowing them to find their way through the labyrinth. The enchanted lake beyond the forest lay the enchanted lake, a vast body of shimmering water. To cross the lake, they needed to use the moonlit boats that only appeared at night. As they waited for the boats, they encountered a kindly water nymph named Maris, who was guarding the lake. Maris explained that they could only cross if they solved a riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "Fire." Maris smiled and granted them passage. They boarded a moonlit boat and sailed across the lake, the water glowing under the moon's soft light. The Mountain of Echoes on the other side of the lake, they reached the base of the Mountain of Echoes, a towering peak shrouded in mist. The Midnight Blossom was said to grow on the mountain's highest peak. The climb was steep and treacherous, and the air was thin and cold. As they climbed, they were confronted by a fierce storm of winds and ice. The storm was the work of a jealous spirit who didn't want anyone to find the Midnight Blossom. Elian's music had the power to soothe the storm, and with Lyra's courage, they pressed on through the tempest. The Midnight Blossom finally, they reached the summit, where the Midnight Blossom was said to bloom. The flower glowed with an ethereal light, its petals shimmering like silver. However, the flower was guarded by a wise old dragon named Draconis. Draconis tested Lyra's heart with a series of questions about her intentions. He wanted to ensure that her wish was selfless and pure. Lyra spoke from the heart, expressing her desire to bring happiness to her people and to share the joy she had found on her journey. Moved by her sincerity, Draconis allowed her to take the midnight blossom. Lyra made her wish for the eternal happiness of her people, and as she did, a radiant light spread across the land of Lunaria. The magic of the midnight blossom enhanced the moon's glow, filling the kingdom with a new, everlasting brilliance. The return to Lunaria. Lyra and Elian returned to Lunaria, greeted by the joyous celebration of the people. The kingdom's happiness was palpable, and the moonlight seemed even more magical than before. Queen Selene praised her daughter's bravery and kindness. Elian decided to stay in Lunaria, enchanted by the beauty of the kingdom and the warmth of its people. He became a beloved figure, sharing stories and psalms that kept the magic of the midnight blossom alive in the hearts of the people. And so, the tale of Princess Lyra and her quest for the midnight blossom became a cherished legend in Lunaria. The kingdom thrived under the everlasting moonlight, a symbol of the joy that comes from a selfless heart and the magic of a wish fulfilled. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between a shimmering lake and an ancient forest, there was a mysterious place known as the Whispering Grove. The villagers often spoke of it with a mix of awe and caution. It was said that the grove was enchanted, and that its trees could speak in hushed whispers that carried secrets and wisdom from ages past. In the village lived a young girl named Lyra, who had always been captivated by stories of the Whispering Grove. Her grandmother, a wise and gentle woman, often told her tales of the grove's magical properties and the wonders hidden within. Lyra's curiosity grew with each story, and she longed to discover the secrets for herself. One bright summer morning, with the sun casting golden rays over the landscape, Lyra decided it was time to venture into the grove. She packed a small satchel with bread, cheese, and a flask of water, and set off towards the forest, her heart fluttering with excitement. As she entered the grove, the trees seemed to sway gently, as if welcoming her. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the soft hum of nature. Lyra walked along a winding path, guided by the whispers that seemed to guide her steps. Suddenly, the path led her to a clearing where a grand, ancient tree stood. Its trunk was wide and gnarled, and its branches reached out like protective arms. At the base of the tree was a large, intricately carved wooden door. Lyra approached the door, feeling a mixture of wonder and trepidation. The door was slightly ajar, and Lyra could hear a soft, melodious voice from within. She gently pushed the door open and stepped inside. The interior was illuminated by a soft, golden light, and she found herself in a circular room lined with shelves of glowing, crystal orbs. In the center of the room was a small table with a single, ornate book resting upon it. Lyra approached the book and saw that it was bound in silver and embossed with a symbol of a tree intertwined with stars. She carefully opened it, and the pages seemed to shimmer with a magical light. As she turned the pages, Lyra found that they were filled with beautiful illustrations and stories of ancient times. Each story was about people who had come to the Whispering Grove seeking wisdom and guidance. Lyra read about a hero who had saved his village from a terrible drought and a wise queen who had used the grove's knowledge to bring peace to her kingdom. But as Lyra continued to read, she came across a story that stood out. It was about a hidden treasure that could only be found by someone with a pure heart and noble intentions. The treasure was said to be hidden deep within the grove and was protected by a magical riddle. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. She felt a deep connection to the story and knew that this was the reason she had come to the Whispering Grove. She decided to seek out the treasure, guided by the clues in the book. Following the instructions, Lyra ventured deeper into the grove. The whispers of the trees seemed to grow louder, guiding her steps. She came to a small, babbling brook that sparkled with a silvery light. On the other side of the brook was a stone archway covered in vines. Lyra crossed the brook and stepped through the archway. She found herself in a hidden glen filled with glowing flowers and a crystal-clear pond. At the center of the pond was a small island with a pedestal. On the pedestal rested a delicate, golden chest. With a sense of reverence, Lyra approached the chest. It was adorned with intricate designs of stars and trees, just like the book. The chest had a lock shaped like a star, and Lyra realized that she needed to solve the magical riddle to open it. The riddle was written in elegant script on the chest: I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lyra thought hard, recalling the stories from the book and the whispers of the grove. Finally, she had an epiphany and whispered, fire. The chest clicked open, revealing a shimmering golden light. Inside, Lyra found a beautiful, crystal pendant in the shape of a tree. The pendant glowed with a warm, soothing light. As Lyra held the pendant, she felt a surge of peace and joy. She knew that the true treasure was not the pendant itself, but the wisdom and courage she had gained on her journey. She thanked the Whispering Grove and the magical beings who had guided her. Lyra returned to the village with the pendant, which she chose to keep as a symbol of her adventure. The village thrived with newfound hope and prosperity, and the stories of Lyra's bravery became a cherished part of their lore. And so, the Whispering Grove remained a place of wonder and wisdom, its secrets revealed only to those with a pure heart and a noble spirit. Lyra's story was a reminder that the greatest treasures are often found through the journey of discovery and the kindness we share with others. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and misty forests, there was a small village known as Willowbrook. Willowbrook was a charming place where everyone knew everyone, and the people lived in harmony with nature. However, the village had one peculiar problem. No matter how hard they tried, they could never navigate through the ancient, enchanted forest that surrounded their homes. The forest was dense and magical, with trees that whispered secrets and paths that shifted as you walked. For centuries, the villagers had been content to stay on the edge, never venturing too far into the forest's mysterious depths. But as the years went by, curiosity grew, and the villagers began to dream of exploring the wonders hidden within. One chilly autumn evening, as the first frost kissed the leaves, a young girl named Lila stepped forward with a brave heart. Lila was known for her kindness and keen sense of adventure. She believed that the enchanted forest held secrets that could help her village. And she was determined to uncover them. One night, as the stars twinkled brightly, Lila climbed the highest hill in Willowbrook. There, she spotted an old, weathered telescope left behind by a long-forgotten astronomer. She peered through it and saw something incredible, a glimmering constellation in the shape of a compass, guiding her toward the heart of the forest. The next morning, Lila gathered her courage and set out with only a small satchel, her trusty lantern, and a parchment with a drawing of the starry compass. She followed the constellation's path, which led her into the enchanted forest. As Lila ventured deeper, the forest grew darker and more mysterious. The trees seemed to lean closer, their leaves rustling in a language she couldn't understand. The path twisted and turned, but Lila kept her eyes on the stars above. Guided by the constellation, she felt a sense of purpose and wonder. After several hours of walking, she came upon a small clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center stood an ancient oak tree. Its trunk gnarled and wise, with branches stretching toward the sky. Hanging from one of its branches was a delicate, glowing compass, its needle spinning gracefully. Lila approached the compass with reverence. As she touched it, a soft voice echoed around her. "Welcome, brave traveler. You have found the starry compass. It is said to hold the key to understanding the magic of the forest." A figure emerged from the shadows, an elegant fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. "I am Lyra, the guardian of the forest," she said with a gentle smile. "The compass has chosen you, Lila. What is it that you seek?" Lila took a deep breath. "I seek to help my village. We want to understand the forest and harness its magic to better our lives." Lyra nodded, her eyes twinkling. "Very well. The starry compass will guide you, but you must answer a riddle to unlock its true power. Are you ready?" Lila nodded eagerly. Lyra's voice grew soft and melodic as she recited the riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought carefully. The forest around her was silent, as if waiting for her answer. Then, with a sudden flash of insight, she said, "A fire." Lyra's eyes sparkled with approval. "You have answered correctly. The starry compass now reveals its magic." The compass began to glow brightly, and the forest around Lila seemed to come alive. The trees parted, revealing a path paved with golden leaves that led to a beautiful, hidden grove. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and a crystal-clear stream flowed through the grove. This grove, Lyra explained, holds the essence of the forest's magic. The plants here have healing properties, and the water brings prosperity. Take what you need for your village, but remember to respect the balance of nature. Lila carefully collected some herbs and filled a small vial with the enchanted water. She thanked Lyra and the forest for their gift and made her way back to Willowbrook, guided once again by the constellation. When she returned, the villagers were astonished by the treasures she brought. They used the herbs to heal ailments and the water to enrich their crops. Willowbrook flourished, and the villagers learned to live in harmony with the enchanted forest, respecting its magic and protecting its secrets. As for Lila, she became a beloved hero, known for her bravery and wisdom. She often visited the forest, guided by the starry compass, to ensure that the magical balance was maintained. And so, Willowbrook thrived, and the enchanted forest remained a place of wonder and harmony, forever intertwined with the lives of those who cherished its magic. And they all lived happily ever after. Once through 3 trials set by the Gloomshade. The Moonlight Sorceress handed Elara a crystal vial filled with stardust, saying, "This stardust will guide you and protect you from the darkness." With renewed determination, Elara ventured towards the Cavern of Echoes. The journey was treacherous, with winding paths and ominous shadows, but the vial's stardust provided a comforting glow. The first trial was the Trial of Illusions. Elara entered a chamber filled with swirling mist that created deceptive images and voices. To pass, she had to see through the illusions and find the true path. Elara focused on her purpose and followed the light of the stardust, which led her through the mist and out of the chamber. The second trial was the Trial of Echoes. In a vast hall, the echoes of the cavern mimicked her own fears and doubts. Elara had to confront these echoes and stand firm in her resolve. She remembered her village's need for the lantern's light and focused on her love for her home, letting it drown out the echoes of fear. The final trial was the Trial of the Heart. In a dark chamber, the Gloomshade awaited, clutching the moonstone tightly. The Gloomshade challenged Elara to prove that her heart was pure and worthy. Elara spoke honestly of her desire to help her village and her belief in the lantern's magic. The Gloomshade, moved by her sincerity and bravery, relinquished the moonstone. With the moonstone in hand, Elara returned to Lumina. The Moonlight Sorceress appeared once more to bless the lantern. As she placed the moonstone into the lantern's core, its light blazed forth, brighter and warmer than ever before. The village was once again bathed in the lantern's comforting glow, and the night skies of Lumina sparkled with renewed brilliance. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and the return of the lantern's light. The tales of her quest and the Moonlight Sorceress's magic became a cherished part of the village's history. Elara's adventure was a reminder that courage, purity of heart, and determination could bring light even to the darkest of places. And so, in the kingdom of Lumina, where the stars danced brightly in the sky and the lantern's light illuminated every corner of the village, Elara's legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to seek out their own adventures and to never lose hope. Once upon a time, in a bustling village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a wise old clockmaker named Tobias. Tobias was known throughout the land for his intricate and magical clocks that could measure not just time, but also moments of joy and sorrow. His most prized possession was an ancient clock known as the Heart of Time, a masterpiece that was said to hold the secrets of time itself. The clock was kept in the heart of Tobias's workshop, a cozy, cluttered space filled with the tick-tock of countless timepieces and the warm scent of wood and oil. Tobias had an apprentice named Lila, a bright and curious young girl who had been learning the art of clockmaking for many years. Lila admired Tobias greatly and dreamed of creating something as magnificent as the Heart of Time one day. One crisp autumn morning, as Tobias and Lila worked on a delicate cuckoo clock, a stranger arrived at the workshop. He was a tall man with a cloak as dark as midnight and eyes that gleamed with an unsettling light. He introduced himself as Mortimer and claimed to be a collector of rare and magical artifacts. "I have come to acquire the Heart of Time," Mortimer said, his voice smooth and persuasive. "I am willing to pay handsomely for it." Tobias's face grew solemn. "The Heart of Time is not for sale. It holds more than just mechanical parts. It is a keeper of the essence of time itself." Mortimer's eyes narrowed. "I see. Well, if you refuse to sell it, I will take it by force. Time is a powerful thing, and I will have it." Without another word, Mortimer cast a spell that sent the workshop into darkness. When the lights returned, the Heart of Time was gone, along with the stranger. Tobias was distraught, but he knew that recovering the Heart of Time was crucial for the balance of time itself. He turned to Lila, who was standing by in shock. "Lila, you must retrieve the Heart of Time. It is essential that you go after Mortimer and bring it back." "I will guide you with these instructions," he said, handing her a parchment with cryptic symbols. Lila accepted the challenge with determination. With Tobias's instructions in hand, she set out on her quest. The parchment revealed a series of clues that led her through a mystical forest, across a shimmering lake, and up a steep mountain path. Her journey was filled with trials. In the forest, she encountered mischievous sprites that tried to lead her astray. Using her wits, she solved their riddles and continued on her path. At the lake, she had to cross a bridge guarded by a wise old turtle who tested her patience and kindness. When she proved her worth, the turtle allowed her to pass. Finally, on the mountain, she faced a treacherous climb and a storm that tested her resolve. Each challenge brought her closer to her goal, and Lila's courage and ingenuity saw her through. Eventually, she arrived at an ancient castle, where Mortimer had taken the Heart of Time. The castle was surrounded by an enchanted barrier that could only be breached by someone with a pure heart. As Lila approached the castle, she saw Mortimer standing before a grand clock, trying to harness the Heart of Time's magic for himself. The clock's face was dark and twisted, and Mortimer looked on with greedy eyes. Lila stepped forward and confronted him. "Mortimer, you cannot control time for your own gain. The Heart of Time is a treasure meant to be respected, not exploited." Mortimer sneered. "You are too late, child. The power of time will be mine." But as Mortimer reached for the Heart of Time, the ancient magic within the castle reacted to his greed. The castle's walls began to crumble, and the dark clock's hands spun wildly. Realizing his mistake, Mortimer tried to escape, but the castle's magic was too strong. Lila, remembering Tobias's instructions, used the knowledge she had gained throughout her journey to restore the Heart of Time to its rightful place. She placed it carefully within the grand clock, and the moment she did, the castle's magic began to stabilize. The Heart of Time glowed with a warm, soothing light, and time flowed smoothly once more. With the Heart of Time returned to its rightful place, the enchanted barrier around the castle vanished. Mortimer was swept away by the castle's magic, never to be seen again. The castle, now restored to its former glory, stood as a symbol of the balance between time and respect. Lila returned to the village with the Heart of Time, and Tobias welcomed her with open arms. The village celebrated her bravery and the return of the precious artifact. The Heart of Time resumed its role, ensuring that time flowed as it should and that moments of joy and sorrow were in harmony. From that day forward, Lila continued her training with Tobias, and together they crafted many more wondrous timepieces. The tale of Lila's courage and the Heart of Time became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone of the importance of respect and the balance of time. And so, in the kingdom of Erandir, where time and magic intertwined, the legacy of the Heart of Time and its brave protector lived on, inspiring future generations to honor the essence of time and the wisdom that comes with it. Once upon a time, in a realm of rolling hills and serene forests, there was a village called Rivermoor. Rivermoor was a place where the land thrived with vibrant colors, and the river that meandered through it sparkled like liquid silver under the sunlight. The villagers lived in harmony with nature and were known for their kindness and generosity. In this village lived a clever and adventurous boy named Finn. Finn loved exploring the forests and meadows surrounding Rivermore, always on the lookout for hidden secrets and forgotten tales. One day, while wandering through a particularly dense part of the forest, Finn stumbled upon an old, moss-covered book partially buried beneath a fallen tree. Excitedly, Finn brushed off the dirt and carefully opened the book. Inside were pages filled with elegant, swirling script and beautiful illustrations of fantastical creatures. Among the illustrations was a silver fox, its eyes glinting with a mysterious light. The text next to the fox read, "To find the secret of the silver fox. Follow its trail where the moonlight falls, and the answer will be revealed and the night is still and the forest calls." Intrigued, Finn decided to seek out this legendary fox and uncover the secret mentioned in the book. That evening, as the full moon began to rise, he set out into the forest with the book in hand, guided by the moonlight. The forest was bathed in a silvery glow, and the shadows danced gently on the ground. Finn followed the path outlined in the book, moving deeper into the forest where the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets. The air was crisp and cool, and the only sound was the soft rustling of leaves. After a while, Finn reached a small clearing where the moonlight shone directly onto a large, flat stone. On the stone was an intricate pattern of runes and symbols, and at its center was a silver pendant shaped like a fox. The pendant sparkled under the moonlight, casting a gentle, mesmerizing light. Finn reached out and picked up the pendant. As he held it, he felt a warm, comforting energy flow through him. The pendant seemed to hum with life, and Finn could feel that it was connected to something greater. Suddenly, a soft rustling sound came from the edge of the clearing, and a magnificent silver fox appeared from the shadows. Its fur gleamed with a soft, ethereal light, and its eyes held a deep, knowing gaze. "Greetings, brave Finn," the fox spoke in a melodious voice. "I am the guardian of this pendant and the keeper of the secret it holds." Finn was amazed. "You're the silver fox from the book. What is the secret you guard?" The fox smiled gently. "The secret of the silver fox is not just in the pendant, but in the heart of those who seek it. This pendant has the power to reveal the true nature of anyone who wears it. It shows not only who they are, but also who they could become." Finn looked at the pendant thoughtfully. "What does it reveal about me?" The silver fox's eyes twinkled. "To understand its true nature, you must first understand your own heart. The pendant will show you the path you are meant to take and the strengths you possess." With a nod, Finn placed the pendant around his neck. As soon as he did, the pendant glowed brightly, and a soft light surrounded him. Images began to appear in the light, visions of Finn helping others, exploring new lands, and discovering hidden wonders. It showed him as a leader, a friend, and a protector. The silver fox continued, "The pendant reveals that you have a heart full of courage and kindness. It shows that your greatest strength lies in your ability to inspire and help those around you. Use this gift wisely, and always remember to follow your heart." Finn was filled with a sense of purpose and gratitude. "Thank you, Silver Fox. I will use this gift to help others and make a difference in the world." The silver fox nodded approvingly. Remember, the magic of the pendant is not just in its light, but in the actions and choices of the one who wears it. Go forth and be a beacon of hope and kindness. With that, the silver fox vanished into the forest, and the pendant's light dimmed to a soft, steady glow. Finn returned to Rivermore, carrying with him not just a magical pendant, but a renewed sense of purpose. Over the years, Finn used the pendant's guidance to help his village and beyond. He became known for his wisdom, bravery, and compassion. The pendant remained a symbol of his journey and the magic that lies within the heart of those who dare to follow their dreams. And so, Rivermore flourished under Finn's leadership, and the tale of the silver fox became a cherished story passed down through generations, a reminder that the greatest secrets are often found within ourselves. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met lush forests, there was a village named Silverwood. Silverwood was renowned for its beauty and tranquility, nestled in a valley surrounded by sparkling streams and tall, ancient trees. But one day, a mysterious fog descended upon the village, causing it to vanish from sight, leaving only an empty, silent landscape where it once stood. In a neighboring village, young Eliza lived with her grandmother. Eliza was known for her kindness and curiosity. One afternoon, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Eliza found an old, dusty chest. Inside, she discovered a beautiful pendant that shimmered with an otherworldly light. The pendant was shaped like a crescent moon with a sparkling gem at its center. Intrigued, Eliza showed the pendant to her grandmother. Her grandmother's eyes widened with recognition. "This pendant belonged to the last guardian of Silverwood," she said. "It is said to hold the power to find the lost village, but no one knows how to unlock its magic." Determined to help the villagers, Eliza decided to uncover the pendant's secrets. She set out on a journey to find Silverwood, guided only by the pendant's soft glow. As she ventured into the forest, the pendant's light grew brighter, leading her deeper into the woods. After walking for hours, Eliza came across a clearing with a large, ancient oak tree. At the base of the tree was a stone pedestal with intricate carvings. The pendant's light flickered as if it were responding to something. Eliza approached the pedestal and saw an inscription: "To reveal the hidden village, follow the light of the moon and seek the keeper of dreams." Eliza looked up at the sky and saw that the moon was full, casting a silvery light over the forest. She followed the moonlight until she reached a serene, moonlit glade. In the center of the glade was a small, crystal-clear pond that reflected the moon's light like a mirror. As Eliza gazed into the pond, a gentle voice spoke from the water. "I am Luna, the keeper of dreams. To find Silverwood, you must solve the riddle of the moon and show a heart full of courage." Luna's reflection shimmered and began to recite a riddle: "In the heart of the night where shadows play, find the path where moonbeams stray. There lies the key to the village lost, but beware of the frost that guards the cost." Eliza pondered the riddle and realized it referred to a hidden path illuminated by moonlight. She searched the glade and noticed a faint, glowing trail leading into the forest. Following the trail, she soon found herself at the entrance to a cave covered in shimmering frost. The cave was cold and dark, but Eliza pressed on, guided by the pendant's warm glow. Inside, she discovered a large chamber with walls of sparkling ice. At the center of the chamber stood a tall, silver mirror surrounded by delicate frost flowers. As Eliza approached the mirror, she saw her reflection, but something was different. The reflection showed her standing in a vibrant, lush village. The mirror began to speak: "To reveal the lost village, you must reflect its essence. Speak with truth and heart." Eliza took a deep breath and spoke to her reflection. "I seek Silverwood to restore its magic and bring its beauty back to the world. I believe in the power of kindness and courage." The mirror's surface rippled and shimmered, revealing a hidden passage behind it. The passage led Eliza through a series of twisting tunnels until she emerged into a breathtakingly beautiful village. It was Silverwood, restored to its former glory, its buildings adorned with glowing lanterns and its streets lined with vibrant flowers. The villagers of Silverwood welcomed Eliza with joy and gratitude. They explained that the fog that had hidden their village was a spell cast by an envious sorcerer who wanted the village's magic for himself. The pendant had the power to break the spell and reveal the village, but it required someone with a pure heart to unlock its magic. Eliza's bravery and determination had broken the spell and restored the village. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast, and the pendant was honored as a symbol of their return. Eliza was hailed as a hero, and she was invited to stay in Silverwood as a beloved guest. As the celebration continued, Luna's voice echoed softly in the night sky: "You have shown that true courage and kindness can overcome even the darkest of spells. The magic of Silverwood will always shine brightly, thanks to you." Eliza returned to her grandmother's village, sharing the tale of her adventure and the lessons she had learned. The story of the enchanted pendant and the lost village became a cherished legend, inspiring others to seek out their own adventures and to believe in the power of kindness and courage. And so, the tale of Eliza and the enchanted pendant was told for generations, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, a heart full of bravery and love could restore magic and bring light to the darkest of times. And thus, the story of Eliza and the Lost Village became a timeless legend, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted forest, there was a small village called Lumina. This village was famous for its breathtaking night skies, which sparkled with stars as if sprinkled with fairy dust. The villagers believed that the stars held magical powers and that each star was a guardian spirit watching over them. In Lumina lived a kind young girl named Elara, who loved stargazing more than anything. She had a special pendant, a silver locket with a single star-shaped gem, that had been passed down from her grandmother. It was said that the pendant had once shone as brightly as the stars themselves, but over time, it had lost its luster and had become a mere keepsake. One night, as Elara gazed up at the twinkling sky, she noticed something troubling. The stars seemed dimmer, and a strange shadow covered the village. The villagers were worried, for the fading stars seemed to be losing their magic, leaving the village feeling cold and dark. Determined to restore the stars' brilliance, Elara decided to seek help from the legendary Moon Sage, who was said to reside in a hidden glade deep within the enchanted forest. With her pendant around her neck and a heart full of hope, Elara set off on her quest. The enchanted forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with trees that whispered secrets and streams that sang gentle lullabies. As Elara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered 3 magical creatures who each offered her a piece of wisdom. The first was a wise old owl perched on an ancient tree. The owl hooted softly and said, "To find the Moon Sage, you must first find the Rainbow Falls. Follow the path of the moonlight and the colors of the rainbow." Elara thanked the owl and continued her journey, guided by the moonlight that filtered through the trees. After some time, she reached the Rainbow Falls, a spectacular waterfall cascading in hues of every color imaginable. She carefully followed the shimmering path created by the moonlight reflecting off the water. At the base of the falls, she encountered a gentle deer with antlers adorned with flowers. The deer spoke in a soft voice, "To meet the Moon Sage, you must cross the Bridge of Echoes. But beware, the echoes will test your heart." Elara saw the Bridge of Echoes, a delicate wooden bridge that spanned a misty ravine. As she crossed, soft whispers and echoes surrounded her, each voice filled with doubt and fear. Remembering her mission and her love for the stars, Elara focused on her determination and courage. She crossed the bridge, ignoring the echoes, and emerged on the other side. Finally, Elara arrived at the Moon Sage's glade, a serene, moonlit clearing surrounded by flowers that glowed with a soft, silvery light. In the center of the glade sat the Moon Sage, an elegant figure with a flowing robe that sparkled like the night sky. The Moon Sage greeted Elara with a warm smile. "I have been expecting you. The stars have indeed lost their light because the Starlight Pendant has lost its magic. To restore the stars, you must rekindle the pendant's light." The Moon Sage took the pendant and examined it closely. "This pendant was once a powerful conduit of starlight," she explained. "It needs to be recharged with the essence of true magic." The Moon Sage led Elara to a small, crystal-clear pool in the glade. At its center floated a luminous orb of stardust, shimmering with the pure light of the stars. The sage instructed Elara to hold the pendant above the pool and make a heartfelt wish. Elara closed her eyes and thought of the stars, their beauty, and their importance to her village. She wished for their light to return and for the pendant to shine once more. As she opened her eyes, the pendant began to glow with a brilliant, radiant light, brighter than ever before. The Moon Sage smiled and said, "Your pure heart and selfless wish have restored the pendant's magic. The stars will now shine brightly once more." With the pendant glowing brightly around her neck, Elara returned to Lumina. As she approached the village, she saw the stars returning to their full brilliance, filling the night sky with their twinkling light. The village was bathed in a warm, comforting glow, and the darkness had vanished. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Elara's bravery and determination. The stars, now brighter than ever, seemed to dance across the sky, filling everyone's hearts with joy and wonder. Elara learned that the true magic of the stars was not just in their light, but in the love and hope that bound them to the hearts of those who cared for them. The starlight pendant remained a symbol of this magic, a reminder of the courage and selflessness that restored the light of the stars. And so, under the enchanting glow of the starlit sky, Lumina thrived, forever blessed by the magic of a brave young girl and the twinkling light of the stars. In the radiant shimmer of the stars, the village of Lumina discovered that the most profound magic of all was the light that shines from within and the love that brings light to others. Once upon a time, in a land where dreams and reality intertwined, there was a kingdom called Luminera. It was a magical place where the stars in the sky were believed to have special powers, and the people of Luminera cherished the night sky. The kingdom was ruled by King Orion and Queen Lyra, who had a young daughter named Princess Aurora. Princess Aurora loved the stars more than anything else in the world. She would often gaze out of her window at night, marveling at their twinkling beauty. However, as she grew older, she noticed that the stars seemed to be fading, losing their brilliance. The people of Luminera grew worried, for the stars were the source of their magic and joy. One evening, as Aurora was gazing out of her window, she saw a shooting star fall from the sky and land in the Whispering Woods just beyond the castle. Driven by curiosity and concern, she decided to venture into the woods to find out what was happening to the stars. Aurora set out early the next morning, carrying a small bag with essentials, a map of the kingdom, a lantern, and a book of fairy tales her mother had given her. The Whispering Woods were known for their magical and mysterious nature, and Aurora knew she would need all her wits and courage to navigate through them. As she entered the woods, the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets, and the air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the distant sound of rustling leaves. Aurora followed the path marked on her map, guided by the light of her lantern. The deeper she went, the more enchanting and otherworldly the woods became. Soon, she arrived at a glistening pond surrounded by glowing mushrooms. In the middle of the pond was a small, moss-covered island, and on it stood a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius was known as the guardian of the Whispering Woods, and he had a long, white beard that flowed like silk. Aurora approached him and explained her quest to find the fallen star and save the fading stars in the sky. Tiberius listened carefully and then said, "To restore the star's light, you must first find the heart of the woods, a magical crystal that holds the essence of the night sky. But be warned, the path to the heart is filled with challenges that test your spirit." Aurora thanked Tiberius and set off in search of the heart of the woods. Tiberius gave her a silver locket and said, "This locket will guide you. It holds a piece of the star's magic. When you are in danger or need guidance, open it, and it will show you the way." Following Tiberius's advice, Aurora journeyed through the woods. She soon reached a fork in the path, with two different trails leading away. She remembered the book of fairy tales and flipped through its pages, hoping to find a clue. The book opened to a story about the path of courage and the path of wisdom. According to the tale, the path of courage was filled with trials that tested one's bravery, while the path of wisdom challenged one's intellect and discernment. Aurora chose the path of wisdom, believing it would be the best way to solve the mystery of the fading stars. The path led her to a series of riddles inscribed on ancient stones. Each riddle was more complex than the last, but Aurora was determined to solve them. After much thought and effort, Aurora answered the riddles correctly. The stones began to glow, revealing a hidden passage that led deeper into the woods. At the end of the passage, she found herself in a magnificent clearing filled with shimmering light. In the center of the clearing was an enormous tree with silver leaves and branches that sparkled like diamonds. At the base of the tree was a small pedestal with the heart of the woods resting upon it. The crystal glowed with a soft, enchanting light, and Aurora could feel its warmth. Just as she reached for the heart, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was the sorceress Nocturne, a once-banished sorceress who sought to steal the magic of the stars for herself. Nocturne had been draining the stars' light to increase her own power. "No one shall take the heart of the woods," Nocturne declared. Raising her staff, Aurora stood firm, her heart pounding. Remembering Tiberius's advice, she opened the silver locket. Inside was a tiny star that began to shine brightly, illuminating the clearing. The light from the locket revealed Nocturne's true form, a figure of shadows and illusions. With the light of the locket, Aurora was able to dispel Nocturne's illusions and confront her. She spoke boldly, "The magic of the stars is not meant for selfish gain. It belongs to all, and it is our duty to protect it." Nocturne's dark powers were no match for the pure light of the heart and the locket. Defeated, she vanished into the shadows, and the heart of the woods was safe once more. Aurora carefully took the heart and made her way back to the castle. The journey was long, but the forest seemed to come alive with joy, guiding her home. As she approached Luminera, the stars began to twinkle brightly once again, their light returning to its former brilliance. The people of Luminera rejoiced at the sight of the restored stars. The kingdom celebrated Aurora's bravery and wisdom, and she was hailed as a heroine. The heart of the woods was placed in a special chamber within the castle, where it would continue to protect the magic of the stars. Princess Aurora learned that true courage and wisdom came from within and that the magic of the stars was a gift meant to be shared and cherished. She continued to watch over her kingdom, knowing that the light of the stars was a reminder of the magic that dwelled in the hearts of those who sought to protect and care for others. And so, the kingdom of Luminera thrived, its night skies forever sparkling with the brilliance of the stars, thanks to the courage and compassion of one brave princess. The end. In a distant kingdom, nestled between emerald hills and crystal-clear lakes, lay the village of Eldoria. It was a place of peace and prosperity, where every villager lived in harmony with nature. At the edge of this village was a quaint cottage where a young boy named Finn lived with his wise grandmother, Mora. Mora was known far and wide for her knowledge of ancient lore and magic. She often shared tales of enchanted places and mystical artifacts. The most famous of these tales was about a legendary compass, said to guide its bearer to their heart's true desire. This compass, however, was lost many centuries ago, hidden in a place no one knew. One chilly autumn evening, Mora fell ill. The village healer, a kind woman named Elara, tried her best, but her remedies were not enough. Elara suggested that they seek out the elixir of eternal light, a rare potion that could only be found in the heart of the Whispering Forest, a place rumored to be filled with magical creatures and hidden dangers. Determined to save his grandmother, Finn decided to embark on the perilous journey to find the elixir. He packed a small satchel with essentials, a map, a lantern, and a few provisions. Before he left, Mora handed him an old, ornate compass, saying, "This was once my father's. It might help you find what you seek." With a determined heart, Finn set out for the Whispering Forest. The trees loomed tall and mysterious, their branches whispering secrets in the breeze. The deeper he ventured, the more enchanted the forest became. Tiny lights flickered among the foliage, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of unknown flowers. As he walked, Finn encountered a curious squirrel named Nutmeg, who was busy gathering nuts. Nutmeg chattered excitedly and offered to help Finn. "The Whispering Forest is full of wonders and tricks," Nutmeg said. "I know a thing or two about this place. Follow me." Nutmeg led Finn to a clearing where a gentle brook flowed. The water was crystal clear, and its surface shimmered with an otherworldly light. At the center of the brook stood a large stone with ancient runes carved into it. Nutmeg explained that the runes were a clue to finding the elixir, but they needed to decipher them first. Finn studied the runes carefully. They seemed to form a riddle: to find the light that never fades, seek the guardian of the glade. Through trials of heart and strength you'll go, where the moon and starlight flow. With Nutmeg's help, Finn deciphered the riddle and realized they needed to find the guardian of the glade. The guardian, according to the tale, was a majestic unicorn named Leora, known for her wisdom and grace. Following the clues, Finn and Nutmeg ventured deeper into the forest until they reached a glade bathed in soft moonlight. In the center stood Leora, her coat gleaming with the light of 1,000 stars. She was surrounded by a circle of glowing mushrooms that created a path to her. Leora regarded Finn with kind eyes and said, "I have been expecting you. To find the elixir of eternal light, you must first prove your worth. There are 3 trials you must face: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion. Trial of courage: Leora led Finn to a dark cave where shadows danced ominously. Inside, Finn encountered a fearsome dragon made of shadows, guarding a glowing crystal. Despite his fear, Finn stood firm, using the light of the lantern to reveal the dragon's true form, a harmless illusion created by the forest's magic. By dispelling the illusion, Finn showed his bravery and passed the first trial. Trial of Wisdom. The second trial took Finn to a vast maze of mirrors that distorted reality. At the center was a pedestal with a book of riddles. Finn had to solve each riddle to find his way out. With Nutmeg's encouragement and his own sharp mind, Finn solved the riddles and navigated the maze, demonstrating his wisdom. Trial of Compassion. For the final trial, Finn had to help a small, injured fawn he found at the edge of the maze. The fawn was stuck in a thorny bush. Finn carefully freed the fawn and tended to its wounds, showing kindness and empathy. Leora, witnessing his compassion, was moved and declared him worthy. With the trials complete, Leora granted Finn access to a hidden grove where the elixir of eternal light was kept. The grove was illuminated by a soft, golden light, and at its center was a crystal vial filled with a shimmering liquid. Finn thanked Leora and carefully took the vial. As he made his way back to the village, the enchanted compass guided him through the forest. The compass seemed to glow with a warm light, ensuring he found his way home safely. Returning to Eldoria, Finn brought the elixir to Alara, who prepared it for Mora. After taking the potion, Mora's health improved, and she soon recovered fully. The village celebrated Finn's bravery and the successful quest. The tale of Finn's journey became a cherished legend in Eldoria, a story of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The enchanted compass, now a treasured heirloom, was passed down through the generations as a reminder that the true magic lies within one's heart and the desire to help others. And so, Finn continued his life in Eldoria, always guided by the lessons he learned and the magical compass that had once led him through the Whispering Forest. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the clouds, there was a magical kingdom in the sky where stars and moons lived together in harmony. This kingdom was known as Celestia, a place of shimmering light and endless wonder. The stars twinkled brightly in the night, and the moons moved gracefully through the sky, casting their soft glow over the land below. In this celestial kingdom, there was one star that stood out among the rest. Her name was Luna, and she was a small, silver star with a heart as bright as her light. Luna was known for her bravery and kindness. She was always willing to help the other stars and moons, no matter the challenge. One evening, as Luna was finishing her nightly dance across the sky, she noticed something unusual. The silver moon, the most magnificent and revered moon in Celestia, was not shining as brightly as usual. Its light was dim, and it seemed to be fading. Luna flew closer and saw that the silver moon was in trouble. The moon was covered in dark, swirling clouds that blocked its light and sapped its strength. The other moons and stars were worried but didn't know how to help. Luna knew she had to do something. She gathered her courage and approached the silver moon. "Your Majesty," she said softly, "I see that you're not feeling well. How can I help?" The silver moon looked at Luna with a weak smile. "Dear Luna, thank you for your concern. The truth is, I've been cursed by a dark enchantment. Long ago, I made a mistake and angered a powerful sorceress. In retaliation, she placed a spell upon me that drains my light and power. I've tried everything, but the curse is too strong." Luna's heart ached for the silver moon. "I will do whatever it takes to help you. Please, tell me what I must do." The silver moon's light flickered with hope. "To break the curse, you must journey to the heart of the dark forest and retrieve the moonstone of purity. This enchanted stone is the only thing that can lift the curse and restore my light. But be warned, the dark forest is a treacherous place filled with dangers and challenges. Few who enter ever return." Luna's resolve hardened. "I will go. You have given so much to the kingdom, and it's my turn to help you." With that, Luna set off on her quest, leaving the safety of the sky and descending to the dark forest below. The forest was a place of shadows and mystery, with towering trees that seemed to reach into the very fabric of night. As Luna flew deeper into the forest, the darkness grew thicker, and the air became colder. Despite the eerie atmosphere, Luna pressed on. She knew that the fate of the silver moon depended on her. As she ventured further, she encountered several challenges. First, she came across a raging river of darkness that blocked her path. The waters were black and swirling, and it seemed impossible to cross. But Luna was not one to give up easily. She used her silver light to illuminate the dark waters and reveal a hidden path of stepping stones beneath the surface. Carefully, she hopped from stone to stone, making her way across the river. Next, Luna faced a maze of thorny vines that seemed to twist and writhe as if they had a life of their own. The maze was filled with sharp thorns and hidden pitfalls. Luna used her light to cut through the vines and navigate the maze, her bravery guiding her through the obstacles. Finally, Luna reached the entrance to the Moonstone's cave. The cave was guarded by a fearsome creature, a giant shadow serpent with eyes that glowed like embers. The serpent hissed and coiled, blocking the entrance to the cave. Luna took a deep breath and summoned all her courage. She knew she had to face the serpent to retrieve the Moonstone. With a burst of silver light, she flew towards the serpent, dazzling it with her brilliance. The serpent, overwhelmed by the light, slithered back and allowed Luna to enter the cave. Inside the cave, Luna found the Moonstone of Purity resting on a pedestal. The stone glowed with a soft, pure light that seemed to banish the darkness around it. Luna carefully picked up the Moonstone and felt its warmth and power. With the Moonstone in hand, Luna made her way back through the dark forest. The journey was just as challenging as before, but Luna's determination and the light of the Moonstone guided her safely through the dangers. When Luna finally returned to the Celestial Kingdom, she was greeted with cheers and applause from the other stars and moons. She quickly flew to the silver moon and placed the Moonstone upon it. The stone's pure light radiated throughout the silver moon, breaking the dark enchantment and restoring its brilliant glow. The silver moon's light returned stronger than ever, casting a beautiful, silvery glow over the kingdom. The curse was lifted, and the silver moon's power was restored. The entire kingdom rejoiced, and the night sky sparkled with renewed brilliance. The silver moon looked down at Luna with gratitude. "You have done a great service to the kingdom and to me, dear Luna. Your bravery and kindness have saved us all. I will forever be in your debt." Luna smiled, her heart filled with joy. "It was an honor to help you, Your Majesty. The kingdom is brighter because of you, and I am glad I could restore your light." From that day on, Luna was celebrated as a hero in Celestia. The story of her bravery and the quest to save the silver moon was told throughout the kingdom, inspiring others to be courageous and kind. The Celestial Kingdom thrived once more, with the silver moon shining brightly and guiding the stars through the night. And so, the brave little star lived happily, knowing that even the smallest light can shine the brightest in the darkest of times. And thus, the tale of Luna, the Silver Star, and the Silver Moon became a cherished legend in the Celestial Kingdom, a story of bravery, magic, and the enduring power of light and hope. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far beyond the tallest mountains, there lived a young girl named Elara. She lived in the peaceful village of Starvale, known for the bright stars that glittered above its skies every night. The stars were said to bring good fortune and protect the people of the kingdom from darkness. Elara had always been fascinated by the stars. Every evening, she would climb to the highest hill near her home and watch them twinkle, wondering what secrets they held. Her grandmother often told her tales about a long-forgotten star, one that had fallen from the sky ages ago, carrying with it a great magic. It was said that whoever found the star could wish for anything they desired. But as time passed, people began to forget about the fallen star, and soon, it was just a story whispered to children at bedtime. However, Elara never stopped believing. She felt deep in her heart that the star was real, and one day, she would find it. One fateful night, as Elara sat on her hill, something extraordinary happened. The stars above her seemed to dim for just a moment, and then, a single, brilliant star shot across the sky. It was so bright that it lit up the entire kingdom for a brief second. Elara gasped, her heart racing, for she knew what it was, the fallen star. The next morning, Elara packed her small satchel and set out on a journey to find the forgotten star. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but her curiosity and determination were stronger than any fear. Armed only with the stories her grandmother had told her, she ventured into the deep, ancient forest that lay beyond her village, the place where the star was said to have fallen. As she wandered deeper into the woods, the trees became taller, their branches weaving together to form a canopy that blocked out the sunlight. Strange sounds filled the air, whispers, rustling leaves, and distant calls of creatures she had never heard before. Yet, Elara pressed on, her heart guided by the invisible pull of the fallen star. Hours passed, and just as Elara began to doubt her journey, she stumbled upon a small, hidden glade. In the center of the glade was a shimmering pool of water, and above it, suspended in mid-air, was a glowing orb of light. It was faint but unmistakably the star. Elara's breath caught in her throat. She had found it, the forgotten star. But as she approached, a voice echoed through the clearing. "Who dares disturb the resting place of the fallen star?" Startled, Elara looked around and saw a figure emerge from the shadows of the trees. It was an old woman, her eyes sharp and her robe flowing like mist. Elara knew instantly this was no ordinary woman, she was the Star Keeper, guardian of the ancient magic. "I'm sorry," Elara said, bowing her head respectfully. "I didn't mean to disturb anything. I've come to find the fallen star. I've heard the stories and I believe in its magic." The Star Keeper studied Elara for a moment before speaking again. "Many have sought this star, child, but few understand its true power. It is not a gift to be taken lightly. What is it that you seek?" Elara hesitated. She had thought of this moment so many times, imagining what she might wish for, riches, adventure, perhaps even power. But now, standing before the star, she realized something. "I don't want to wish for anything selfish," she said softly. "I only want to protect the people of my kingdom, like the stars have always done. I want to keep the light alive." The Star Keeper's expression softened. "You are wise, young one. The fallen star's magic is not meant for personal gain but for those who understand the importance of light. The kingdom has forgotten the old ways, but you still believe." With a wave of her hand, the Star Keeper guided the glowing orb down toward Elara. "Take the star," she said. "But remember, its power lies not in granting wishes, but in the light it holds. You must return it to the sky, for only there can it truly protect your kingdom." Elara nodded, accepting the star into her hands. It was warm, pulsing with energy like a heartbeat. She felt a surge of responsibility wash over her. Without hesitation, she asked, "How do I return it to the sky?" The Star Keeper smiled. "Climb to the highest peak of the Sapphire Mountains. There, you will find the Gateway of Stars. Place the star within, and it will return to its rightful place." The journey to the Sapphire Mountains was long and treacherous. Elara faced many challenges along the way, steep cliffs, fierce winds, and strange creatures of the forest that tried to lead her astray. But with the star's light guiding her, she pressed forward, never losing hope. At last, after days of travel, Elara reached the peak of the highest mountain. There, nestled between two towering stones, was the Gateway of Stars. It was ancient, carved with runes that glowed faintly in the moonlight. Elara approached the gateway, the star in her hands glowing brighter with each step. With a deep breath, she placed the star within the center of the gateway. For a moment, nothing happened. But then, the runes lit up, and a beam of light shot into the sky, carrying the star back to its rightful home among the heavens. As the star rejoined its siblings in the night sky, a wave of light spread across the land, filling the kingdom with a warm, protective glow. The darkness that had been creeping at the edges of the kingdom vanished, and the stars shone brighter than ever before. Elara stood on the mountain peak, watching the stars with a heart full of wonder and pride. She had returned the forgotten star and restored the magic that had protected her people for generations. When Alara returned to her village, she was greeted with joy and celebration. The people of Starvale had noticed the change in the sky and knew that something extraordinary had happened. From that day on, they never forgot the power of the stars and the magic that watched over them. And as for Alara, she continued to climb her hill every evening, watching the stars with a smile, knowing that the kingdom would always be safe as long as the stars were shining bright. And so, the kingdom of the Forgotten Star flourished, filled with light, hope, and the promise of protection from the stars above. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sky was always painted in hues of twilight, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden was filled with flowers that glowed softly at night, and among them was a rare and magical flower called the Starflower. It was said that the Starflower had the power to grant a single, heartfelt wish to whoever found it. In a small village at the edge of this enchanted garden lived a kind-hearted young woman named Eloan. Eloan had a special gift for growing plants, and her garden was the pride of the village. But despite her happiness, she had one deep sorrow. Her younger brother, Finn, had been lost in a storm many years ago, and she had never stopped hoping for his return. One evening, as the moonlight bathed the village in a soft glow, Eloan's grandmother told her an old tale about the Starflower. The story spoke of its magical properties and how it could reunite loved ones if the wish was made with pure intentions. Inspired by hope and love, Eloan decided she would find the Starflower and wish for her brother's safe return. Armed with a lantern, a map drawn from the old tales, and a heart full of determination, Eloan set off towards the hidden garden. She followed the map through dense woods and over sparkling streams, the moonlight guiding her way. After a long journey, Eloan reached the edge of the hidden garden. The entrance was guarded by a tall, graceful statue of a deer, its eyes glowing softly. As she approached, the statue spoke in a gentle voice, "To enter the garden and find the Starflower, you must first complete 3 trials. Only then will you be worthy of its magic." Eloan nodded, her heart steady with resolve. The first trial was the trial of bravery. She entered a misty part of the garden where shadows danced and strange, eerie sounds echoed. At the center was a grand, ancient tree with twisted branches and an aura of mystery. From within the tree emerged a giant, shadowy creature with glowing eyes and a deep growl. Eloan felt a wave of fear but took a deep breath. "I seek the Starflower to make a wish for my brother," she said bravely. "Please let me pass." The creature, sensing the purity of her heart, let out a soft sigh. "To prove your bravery, you must face the shadows of your own fears." Eloan closed her eyes and faced the shadows, confronting her deepest fears with courage and resolve. As she did so, the shadows dissipated, revealing a path through the mist. The creature bowed, and Eloan continued on her journey. The second trial was the trial of wisdom. Eloan arrived at a serene, moonlit pond with crystal-clear water. At its center was a small island with a wise old turtle. The turtle presented her with a riddle: "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but cannot go outside. What am I?" Eloan thought carefully, remembering the tales and her own experiences. After a moment of contemplation, she answered, "A keyboard." The turtle smiled and nodded. "You have answered wisely. Follow the path to the final trial." Eloan thanked the turtle and followed the path to the final trial, which was the trial of compassion. She arrived at a glade where many wounded and weary creatures were resting. The once vibrant garden had fallen into disrepair, and the creatures were suffering from the lack of care. Without hesitation, Eloan used her skills to heal the animals, sharing her supplies and offering comfort. She tended to their wounds, provided food, and brought warmth to the cold. As she helped, the garden began to revive, flowers blooming and the creatures regaining their strength. With the final trial complete, a hidden path opened before Eloan, leading her to the heart of the garden where the Starflower stood. It was a beautiful, glowing flower with petals that shimmered like stardust. Eloan approached the Starflower with a mix of awe and hope. She knelt beside it and made her heartfelt wish for the safe return of her brother Finn. As she spoke, the flower's light grew brighter, and a gentle breeze carried her words into the night sky. The starflower's magic began to work, and Eloan felt a surge of hope and warmth. She made her way back to the village, her heart full of anticipation. The next morning, a stranger arrived in the village. He was Finn, her long-lost brother, who had been found and guided home by the magic of the starflower. The reunion was filled with tears of joy and gratitude. The village celebrated Eloan's bravery and the miraculous return of Finn. The hidden garden continued to thrive, becoming a place of wonder and magic for all who visited. The starflower's legend lived on, inspiring others to seek its magic with pure hearts. Eloan and Finn's story was remembered for generations, a tale of love, courage, and the power of a heartfelt wish. The hidden garden became a cherished part of the kingdom, and Eloan lived happily ever after, always grateful for the magic that had brought her family back together. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted forest, there was a hidden village called Eldergrove. Eldergrove was known for its breathtaking beauty and the magical crystal that was said to grant the deepest wishes of those with pure hearts. This crystal, known as the Crystal of Dreams, was protected by ancient magic and could only be found by those truly worthy. In Eldergrove lived a young boy named Oliver. Oliver was known throughout the village for his kindness and his knack for helping anyone in need. Despite his modest life, he always shared whatever he had and was beloved by everyone in Eldergrove. Yet, Oliver harbored a deep wish. He wanted to help his ailing mother, who had been bedridden for many months. One day, as Oliver was tending to his garden, he overheard an old storyteller speaking of the Crystal of Dreams. The storyteller spoke of its ability to fulfill a single, heartfelt wish if one could undertake and complete 3 magical trials. Determined to help his mother, Oliver decided to seek out the Crystal of Dreams. He packed a small bag with essentials and set off into the enchanted forest, guided by the tales he had heard. The forest was thick with ancient trees, and the air was alive with the songs of mystical creatures. After a long and arduous journey, Oliver came to a clearing where he saw a grand archway made of intertwined vines and flowers. An inscription above the arch read, "Beyond this gate, the trials begin. To earn the crystal, true heart must win. Prove your worth through courage, wisdom, and grace, and you shall find the crystal's embrace." Oliver stepped through the archway and found himself in a vibrant meadow. The first trial, the trial of courage, awaited him. In the meadow stood a large, growling dragon guarding a shimmering gate. The dragon's scales sparkled with an otherworldly light, and its eyes glowed like embers. Oliver felt a pang of fear but remembered his mother and the reason for his quest. Gathering his courage, he approached the dragon with a steady voice. "I seek the Crystal of Dreams to heal my mother. I mean no harm." The dragon, sensing the purity of Oliver's heart, softened its stance. "To pass this trial, show me your bravery not with force, but with kindness," the dragon rumbled. Oliver reached into his bag and offered the dragon a fresh, ripe fruit he had picked from a magical tree along the way. The dragon accepted the gift with a nod, and the shimmering gate opened, revealing a path to the second trial. The second trial, the trial of wisdom, led Oliver to a serene pond with crystal-clear water. Floating above the pond was a golden lily with a riddle inscribed on its petals. "Without a voice, I tell the truth, I am invisible yet everywhere. I am light as a feather, but heavier than a mountain. What am I?" Oliver pondered the riddle, thinking about the world around him. He remembered the silent but profound presence of the wind that carried sounds and secrets. "The answer is the wind," he said aloud. The golden lily glowed warmly, and the surface of the pond parted to reveal a hidden path. Oliver followed the path to a glade where the final trial awaited. In the glade was an ancient tree with a face carved into its bark. The tree's eyes were gentle yet wise. "The trial of grace," the tree spoke, "requires you to perform an act of true selflessness. Only then will you be deemed worthy." Oliver looked around and saw a group of small, magical creatures struggling to repair a broken bridge that spanned a crystal-clear stream. Without hesitation, Oliver joined them, using his skills to help mend the bridge. As he worked alongside the creatures, he felt a deep sense of joy and fulfillment. The tree's eyes sparkled with approval. You have shown grace through your actions and selflessness. You are ready to find the crystal of dreams. A hidden door in the tree's trunk slowly opened, revealing a small chamber filled with a soft, golden light. In the center of the chamber, upon a pedestal, rested the crystal of dreams. Oliver approached the crystal with reverence and made his heartfelt wish, "I wish for my mother to be healed and restored to health." The crystal glowed brightly, and a warm, soothing light enveloped Oliver. He felt a rush of hope and love, and the light gently faded. With the crystal safely in his hands, Oliver returned to Eldergrove. When he arrived home, he found his mother sitting up in bed, looking vibrant and healthy. She embraced Oliver, tears of joy in her eyes. The villagers celebrated the return of their hero and the miraculous healing of Oliver's mother. The crystal of dreams was placed in a special place in the village, its light continuing to shine as a symbol of hope and the power of selfless love. Oliver's bravery and kindness became a cherished tale in Eldergrove, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the heart. And so, Eldergrove thrived with the spirit of the Crystal of Dreams, and Oliver's family lived happily ever after, surrounded by the love and gratitude of their community. Once upon a time, in a serene village called Moonhaven, nestled between emerald hills and silvery lakes, there was a tradition that the villagers held dear. Every year, on the night of the harvest moon, they would light a lantern and release it into the sky. This lantern, known as the Midnight Lantern, was believed to carry their wishes to the stars. Among the villagers was a young boy named Finn. Finn was kind-hearted and curious, with a deep fascination for the stars. He had always listened to the tales of the Midnight Lantern but had never seen one sent to the heavens. This year, however, Finn was determined to make a wish for something very special. His beloved grandmother, who was wise and gentle, had fallen ill, and he wished for her recovery. As the harvest moon approached, the village bustled with preparations. Lanterns were crafted with care, adorned with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. Finn worked tirelessly on his lantern, decorating it with images of stars, moons, and a small heart at the center. He wrote his wish on a delicate piece of parchment and placed it inside the lantern. On the night of the harvest moon, the village gathered in the meadow to release their lanterns. The moon shone brightly, casting a magical glow over the land. One by one, the lanterns were lit, and their warm, golden lights floated gently into the sky. The air was filled with whispers of hope and dreams. When it was Finn's turn, he held his lantern close to his heart. With a silent prayer for his grandmother, he lit the lantern and watched as it began its ascent. The lantern floated upward, its light shimmering against the dark, velvet sky. But as it rose higher, a sudden gust of wind swept it off course, sending it drifting towards the dense forest at the edge of the village. Finn's heart sank as he saw his lantern veer off track. Determined to retrieve it, he set off into the forest, guided only by the soft glow of the moon. The forest was thick with ancient trees and tangled undergrowth, but Finn pressed on, following the flickering light of his lantern. As he ventured deeper, the moonlight began to fade, replaced by an otherworldly glow that seemed to emanate from the heart of the forest. Finn approached cautiously and found himself standing before a hidden grove bathed in a soft, blue light. In the center of the grove stood a magnificent, ancient tree with silver bark and shimmering leaves. It was the Tree of Whispers, a legendary tree said to possess magical properties. To Finn's amazement, his lantern was gently resting on a bed of moss beneath the tree. As he reached out to retrieve it, the tree's leaves rustled, and a soft voice spoke. "Welcome, young dreamer. I am the guardian of the Tree of Whispers. You have ventured far to recover your lantern. What is it that you seek?" Finn, though surprised, gathered his courage. "I wish for my grandmother to get better. She is very ill, and I want to bring her back to health." The guardian's eyes, which sparkled like distant stars, softened. "A noble wish indeed. To grant it, I must ask for a small favor in return. The Midnight Lantern is a bridge between dreams and reality. To restore balance and ensure your wish is fulfilled, you must perform an act of selflessness within this grove." Finn nodded, eager to help. The guardian pointed to a nearby pool of crystal-clear water, where a small, injured creature, a delicate moonlight deer with a wounded wing, lay resting. This creature is in need of healing. If you help it, the magic of the lantern will be fully restored. Without hesitation, Finn approached the moonlight deer. He gently tended to its wound with a cloth from his satchel and offered it water from the crystal pool. He sang softly to soothe the creature, and his kindness seemed to make the grove itself brighten with warmth. The moonlight deer's wing began to heal, and it looked up at Finn with grateful eyes. The guardian, observing with approval, smiled. "You have shown great compassion and bravery. The magic of the midnight lantern will now be amplified." With a wave of the guardian's hand, the lantern glowed brighter than ever. Finn took it carefully and thanked the guardian. As he made his way back to the village, the lantern floated beside him, its light guiding him through the forest. When Finn returned to Moonhaven, the villagers gathered around, awestruck by the sight of the lantern's radiant glow. Finn placed the lantern gently on the ground and watched as it ascended once more into the sky, its light mingling with the stars. The next morning, Finn's grandmother began to recover. Her strength returned, and her smile was brighter than ever. The village rejoiced, grateful for the miracle. From that day forward, Finn's story became a cherished legend in Moonhaven, a tale of courage, kindness, and the magic of selfless wishes. The midnight lantern continued to light up the sky every harvest moon, reminding everyone that even the smallest act of kindness could shine as brightly as the stars. In the heart of the land of Eldoria, there was a bustling village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers. The village was known for its colorful markets, lively festivals, and its most treasured possession, an ancient compass with magical powers. This compass was said to be able to find anything that was truly lost, guiding its bearer through the darkest forests and across the highest mountains. The compass belonged to a young and brave girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. She lived with her grandmother, who had been the village's storyteller and guardian of the compass before passing it on to Lyra. The compass had always been Lyra's favorite possession, and she would often hold it close, marveling at its intricate design and the way its needle seemed to shimmer with a soft, golden light. One sunny morning, as Lyra was helping her grandmother with the daily chores, a mysterious stranger arrived in the village. The stranger, cloaked in a dark, hooded robe, was in search of something that had been lost for a long time. He spoke in hushed tones and carried an air of urgency. The village elders gathered to discuss his request, and soon they turned to Lyra, knowing she had the enchanted compass. The stranger revealed that he was a scholar from the distant kingdom of Arander, which had vanished many years ago under mysterious circumstances. Legend spoke of Arander as a land of incredible beauty and magic, but it had disappeared from maps and memory alike. The scholar believed that the lost kingdom held a great treasure, one that could bring prosperity and peace to all of Eldoria if found. Lyra, feeling a deep sense of responsibility in adventure, agreed to help the scholar. She took the enchanted compass and set out with him on a journey to find the lost kingdom of Arander. Their path would take them through the vast and mysterious Emerald Forest, across the stormy peaks, and over the shadowy moorlands. As Lyra and the scholar ventured into the Emerald Forest, they were greeted by a forest spirit named Ira. Ira was a graceful being with glowing eyes and wings like leaves. She warned them that the forest was enchanted and that they would need to solve a series of riddles to proceed safely. The first riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment and answered, "An echo." Ira smiled and allowed them to pass. The forest paths twisted and turned, but with the compass's guidance and Ira's help, they navigated through safely. Next, they reached the stormy peaks, where fierce winds and lightning made the journey treacherous. Here, they encountered a wise old dragon named Thorn, who guarded the entrance to the peaks. Thorn demanded that they prove their bravery and kindness before he would let them through. Lyra showed her bravery by standing firm against the storm and her kindness by helping a small creature in need, an injured phoenix. The phoenix, grateful for her help, offered Lyra a magical feather that would protect them from the storms. With the feather's protection, they crossed the peaks and reached the shadowy moorlands. The moorlands were shrouded in mist and darkness, and it was here that they faced their greatest challenge. The compass's needle spun wildly, unable to find its direction. The air was thick with enchantments that distorted reality. In the heart of the moorlands, they found an ancient stone altar. The scholar revealed that this altar was a key to finding Earander, but it required a specific crystal to activate. They had learned of this crystal during their journey but had not yet discovered its location. Lyra, using her intuition and the clues she had gathered, realized that the crystal must be hidden within the enchanted compass itself. She carefully opened the compass and found a hidden compartment containing the crystal. Placing the crystal on the altar, Lyra and the scholar watched as the ground began to tremble, and a pathway of light emerged from the moorlands. Following the path, they arrived at the entrance to the lost kingdom of Earander. The kingdom was breathtaking, a place of magnificent palaces, lush gardens, and rivers of sparkling water. The magic of Earander had been preserved in a time bubble, hidden from the world to protect its treasures. The people of Earander welcomed Lyra and the scholar, grateful for their return. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Isolde, thanked Lyra for her bravery and compassion. She revealed that the true treasure of Earander was not gold or jewels, but the knowledge and wisdom of its people. With their guidance, the kingdom shared its magical knowledge with Eldoria, bringing prosperity and peace to the land. Lyra and the scholar returned to their village as heroes, and the enchanted compass was placed in the village's Hall of Honor, a symbol of the journey that saved a lost kingdom and strengthened the bonds between lands. From that day on, Eldoria thrived with the magic and wisdom of Earander. Lyra continued to explore new adventures, knowing that even the most mysterious of journeys could lead to wonderful discoveries. And so, the tale of Lyra and the lost kingdom of Earander became a cherished story, reminding all who heard it that courage, kindness, and a touch of magic could uncover even the most hidden treasures. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains, there was a small, forgotten village called Elden Hollow. The village was nestled in a valley surrounded by thick, ancient forests, where the trees whispered secrets of old. In this village, there lived a young girl named Lyra, who had a heart as pure as the morning dew and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Lyra lived with her grandmother, an elderly woman known for her knowledge of herbs and healing. The villagers often came to Lyra's grandmother for remedies and advice, for they believed she possessed a touch of magic. However, there was one thing even her grandmother had never been able to discover: the secret of the enchanted garden. The enchanted garden was said to lie deep within the forest, a place of unimaginable beauty where flowers bloomed in every color and the air was filled with the sweetest fragrance. It was rumored that the garden could grant any wish, but only if one could find it. Many had tried and failed, returning with tales of being led in circles or hearing mysterious music that lured them deeper into the woods, only to lose their way. Lyra had grown up hearing these stories, and every time she heard them, her desire to find the garden grew stronger. One day, after much thought, Lyra decided she would try to find the enchanted garden herself. Her grandmother, though worried, knew that Lyra's heart was set on the adventure. "You must be careful, my dear," her grandmother said, handing her a small pouch filled with herbs. "These will protect you from any dark magic you may encounter. And remember, the garden is said to reveal itself only to those with a pure heart and a true purpose." With her grandmother's blessing and the pouch of herbs in hand, Lyra set off into the forest. The path was long and winding, and the deeper she went, the more the trees seemed to close in around her. But Lyra was not afraid. She hummed the tune her grandmother used to sing to her, and the sound seemed to keep the darkness at bay. As she walked, Lyra noticed the forest beginning to change. The trees became taller and more twisted, their leaves a deep emerald green. The air grew thick with the scent of flowers she had never smelled before, and she began to hear faint music, like the chiming of tiny bells. Lyra followed the music, her heart beating faster with every step. Suddenly, she came upon a clearing, and there, before her eyes, was the enchanted garden. It was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. The garden was filled with flowers of every hue: crimson roses, golden sunflowers, and delicate bluebells. The petals shimmered as if dusted with stardust, and the air was alive with the sound of birds singing and bees buzzing. In the center of the garden stood a large, crystal-clear fountain, its water sparkling in the sunlight. Lyra approached the fountain, her breath taken away by its beauty. She could feel the magic in the air, and she knew that this was the place where she could make her wish. Closing her eyes, she thought of her village, of the hardships her people had faced, and of the kindness her grandmother had always shown. "I wish for my village to prosper," Lyra whispered, "for the land to be bountiful and for the people to live in peace and happiness." As soon as the words left her lips, the fountain began to glow with a soft, golden light. The water rippled and swirled, and from its depths, a beautiful flower began to bloom. It was unlike any flower Lyra had ever seen, with petals that shimmered in all the colors of the rainbow. The flower gently floated up from the fountain and hovered before Lyra. She reached out and took it in her hands, feeling its warmth spread through her fingers. The flower's light grew brighter, and Lyra felt a wave of peace and contentment wash over her. Suddenly, the garden began to fade, the flowers and trees dissolving into the air like mist. The music grew softer, and before she knew it, Lyra was standing at the edge of the forest, the flowers still glowing in her hands. She hurried back to the village, her heart light with hope. When she arrived, she found the villagers gathered around her grandmother's house, worried about her long absence. But when they saw the flower in her hands, their eyes widened in amazement. Lyra placed the flower in the center of the village, and as soon as it touched the ground, the earth began to tremble. The villagers watched in awe as the fields around them began to bloom with crops, the trees bore fruit, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of flowers. The village of Eldon Hollow was transformed, becoming a place of abundance and joy. From that day on, the village prospered as Lyra had wished. The people lived in harmony, their lives filled with happiness and plenty. And in the center of the village, the magical flower continued to bloom, its petals shimmering with the light of the enchanted garden. Lyra became known as the girl who found the enchanted garden, but she always remembered her grandmother's words, that it was her pure heart and true purpose that had led her there. And though the garden remained hidden deep in the forest, Lyra knew that its magic would always be with her and her people. And so, the village of Eldon Hollow thrived, and the tale of the enchanted garden was passed down through generations, a story of hope, magic, and the power of a pure heart. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant kingdom called Florinwood, there was a grand palace surrounded by blooming gardens and sparkling streams. Florinwood was known for its eternal spring, a time of perpetual bloom where every flower was in full bloom, and every breeze carried the scent of fresh blossoms. The source of this eternal spring was the Crown of Eternal Spring, a magical artifact that kept the land flourishing. The crown was kept in the royal palace, guarded by the wise Queen Amara. Queen Amara had a young daughter named Eloan, who loved to explore the gardens and dreamt of one day becoming a great leader like her mother. One day, while playing near the palace, Eloan found an old, hidden path that led to a secluded grove. In the center of the grove stood a large, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, she discovered a dusty old scroll. The scroll revealed an old legend: when the crown of eternal spring is in danger, a hero with a pure heart must seek the 3 hidden relics to restore the crown's power and save the kingdom from the coming winter. Eloan showed the scroll to her mother. Queen Amara's face grew serious. "The crown's magic is fading. If the power of the crown is not restored, our kingdom may face a harsh winter. You must find the 3 relics mentioned in the scroll." Determined to save her kingdom, Eloan embarked on her quest. The first relic was said to be the Crystal of Light, hidden in the Caves of Reflection, a place known for its dazzling yet treacherous pathways. Eloan journeyed through the forest and arrived at the entrance to the caves. Inside, the walls sparkled with countless reflections, making it difficult to find her way. Eloan remembered a riddle from the scroll: through the reflections, find the gleam, where light and shadows softly dream. Seek the crystal where the light is true, and the path to the first relic will come to you. As she navigated through the caves, Eloan followed the light that danced in the shadows. Finally, she found a hidden chamber where the Crystal of Light rested on a pedestal, glowing with a warm, radiant light. Eloan carefully took the crystal and continued her journey. The second relic was the heart of the forest, hidden in the enchanted glade. This magical place was guarded by the guardian spirits of the forest, who tested the worthiness of those who sought the relic. Eloan entered the glade, where she was greeted by a wise old fox who spoke in riddles. "To find the heart of the forest, you must show your true self," said the fox. "Only a heart full of kindness and bravery will reveal the relic." Eloan spent time helping the creatures of the glade, mending broken nests and tending to wounded animals. As she showed her genuine kindness and courage, the heart of the forest appeared before her, a glowing emerald that pulsed with the rhythm of the forest. With 2 relics secured, Eloan set out for the final part of her quest, the Waters of Serenity, said to be hidden in a hidden spring deep within the misty mountains. The spring was known for its healing properties and was said to hold the final relic, the Waters of Serenity. After a long and arduous journey, Eloan reached the spring. The water was crystal clear and shimmered with a calming blue light. To retrieve the Waters of Serenity, Eloan needed to answer a question posed by the spring's guardian, a majestic, ancient stag. The heart's true wish can be seen when darkness falls and the light is keen. To restore the balance, what must be done when shadows fall and the day is won? Eloan thought carefully and replied, "The balance must be restored by ensuring that kindness and love remain, even when darkness threatens." The stag nodded in approval, and the Waters of Serenity appeared in a crystal vial. Eloan took the vial and began her journey back to the kingdom. As Eloan returned to Florinwood, the kingdom was indeed starting to feel the chill of impending winter. With the 3 relics in hand, she rushed to the palace and brought them to her mother. Queen Amara, with Eloan's help, combined the relics and placed them on the crown of Eternal Spring. As the relics touched the crown, a brilliant light filled the palace. The crown's magic was restored, and the Eternal Spring returned to Florinwood. The gardens bloomed once more, the stream sparkled, and the kingdom was saved from the harsh winter. The people of Florinwood celebrated Eloan's bravery and determination. Queen Amara praised her daughter for her courage and pure heart, and Eloan was recognized as a true heroine of the kingdom. The story of Eloan and the crown of Eternal Spring was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the importance of preserving the magic of one's land. And so, the tale of Eloan and the crown of Eternal Spring became a beloved legend, a testament to the magic of selflessness and the beauty of a heart that shines brightly, even in the face of adversity. In the heart of a lush kingdom known as Eldoria, there lay a mysterious and enchanting place called the Starlit Forest. Unlike any other forest, the Starlit Forest was bathed in a perpetual twilight, where the trees glittered with bioluminescent leaves and the ground sparkled like a field of stars. The forest was home to magical creatures and guarded by ancient spells, ensuring its beauty and secrets remained hidden from those not pure of heart. In the nearby village of Glenwood lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her curiosity and a heart full of kindness. She spent her days helping her family and dreaming of adventures beyond the village. Her grandmother often told her tales of the Starlit Forest, particularly about a legendary artifact known as the Heart of the Forest, a magical gem said to grant a single wish to those who could find it. One fateful evening, as Elara was exploring the edge of the forest, she stumbled upon an old, weathered map partially buried under a pile of leaves. The map had intricate designs and marked a path leading deep into the Starlit Forest. Excited by the discovery and determined to find the heart of the forest, Elara decided to embark on an adventure. Before she ventured into the forest, Elara visited the village elder, a wise woman named Seraphina. Seraphina was known for her knowledge of magical realms and had been a friend of Elara's grandmother. Upon seeing the map, Seraphina's eyes widened with recognition. "This map is ancient," Seraphina said. "It shows the path to the heart of the forest. But be warned, the forest is filled with challenges and illusions. You will need courage, wisdom, and kindness to succeed." With Seraphina's advice in mind, Elara prepared for her journey. She packed essentials, including food, a lantern, and a small vial of protective charm given to her by Seraphina. At dawn, she set off towards the Starlit Forest. As Elara entered the forest, she was immediately struck by its beauty. the trees shimmered with a soft glow, and the air was filled with a soothing hum. Following the map, Elara ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the light of her lantern and the magical glow of the trees. Soon, Elara encountered her first challenge. A dense fog rolled in, obscuring her path. From within the fog emerged a graceful deer with silver antlers. The deer spoke in a gentle voice, "To pass through the fog, you must answer this riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside. What am I?" Elara thought carefully. She remembered stories of riddles and their answers. After a moment, she smiled and said, "A piano." The deer nodded and stepped aside, allowing Elara to continue her journey. The fog cleared, and she followed the path marked on the map. Next, Elara arrived at a shimmering river that flowed with water as clear as glass. At the edge of the river, a wise old turtle awaited her. The turtle spoke, "To cross this river, you must demonstrate your kindness. Help me find my lost shell, which has been carried away by the current." Elara searched the riverbank and spotted the turtle's shell lodged among some rocks. She carefully retrieved it and returned it to the turtle. The turtle was grateful and, in return, offered Elara a bridge of golden light that would carry her across the river. With the river crossed, Elara continued her journey and soon came upon a grand, ancient tree with a trunk as wide as a house. Hanging from the branches were golden apples, each radiating a warm light. The tree spoke in a deep, resonant voice, "To proceed, you must show your wisdom. Choose the right apple from the branch to reveal the next part of your path." Elara examined the apples carefully. She noticed that one apple had a subtle shimmer that seemed different from the rest. She chose this apple, and as she did, the tree's branches parted to reveal a hidden path leading further into the forest. Elara followed the path and eventually arrived at a beautiful glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was a pedestal with a glowing gem, the heart of the forest. As she approached, a soft voice spoke from the shadows. "Only the pure of heart can claim the heart of the forest," said a tall figure emerging from the shadows. It was a majestic fairy with wings that sparkled like the night sky. Elara bowed respectfully and said, "I seek the heart to help my village and bring hope to those in need." The fairy studied Elara's face and saw the sincerity in her eyes. "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and kindness throughout your journey. You are worthy of the heart." The fairy touched the pedestal, and the heart of the forest floated gently into Elara's hands. Its light was warm and comforting. "Use this gem wisely," the fairy instructed. "It will grant one wish, but its true power lies in how selflessly you use it." Elara thanked the fairy and made her way back to the village, carrying the heart of the forest. As she arrived in Glenwood, the villagers gathered around, eager to hear about her adventure. Elara shared her story and the purpose of her journey. With a heart full of hope, Elara made her wish. She wished for prosperity and well-being for her village, so that all could benefit from the magic of the heart of the forest. The gem's light spread across the village, and soon Glenwood flourished with new crops, clean water, and renewed happiness. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and kindness, and the village thrived like never before. And so, the tale of Elara and the Starlit Forest became a cherished story in Eldoria, reminding everyone that true magic lies not in the power of a single wish but in the courage, wisdom, and kindness of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky kissed the earth with hues of lavender and gold, there was a kingdom known as Eldoria. This kingdom was unlike any other, for it was ruled by the gentle and wise Queen Elara. Eldoria was a place of peace and prosperity, where the rivers sang lullabies, and the wind carried the scent of blooming flowers all year round. But what made Eldoria truly special was the Tree of Radiance, a magnificent tree that stood in the center of the kingdom. Its leaves sparkled like diamonds, and its roots were said to reach the very heart of the world, drawing up the purest magic to sustain the land. However, the Tree of Radiance had begun to lose its light. Each day, its leaves dimmed, and the once vibrant kingdom began to fade into shadows. The people of Eldoria grew worried, and Queen Elara, though strong and wise, knew that something had to be done. But the Tree of Radiance was ancient, and its magic was beyond even the queen's understanding. One day, a rumor spread through the kingdom. It was said that deep in the misty mountains, there was a mysterious old woman who knew the secrets of the Tree of Radiance. She was known as the Oracle of the Mountains, and she was said to have lived for centuries, holding the wisdom of ages past. Hearing this, Queen Alara called upon the bravest and kindest in her land to seek out the oracle and learn how to save the Tree of Radiance. Many noble knights and skilled magicians volunteered, but the queen chose someone unexpected, a young girl named Seraphina. Seraphina was known for her pure heart and gentle spirit. She had no titles or wealth, but she had a deep love for the land and its people. Seraphina, Queen Alara said, "I believe you have the courage and kindness needed for this journey. Will you go to the oracle and bring back the knowledge we need to save our kingdom?" Without hesitation, Seraphina agreed. She packed a small satchel with a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak, and set off toward the misty mountains. The journey was long and difficult, but Seraphina's determination never wavered. She traveled through dense forests, crossed rivers, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, she encountered creatures both fearsome and friendly. As she entered the darkwood forest, she met a wolf with eyes that glowed like embers. The wolf blocked her path, its fur bristling. Seraphina, though frightened, spoke softly to the wolf, offering it a piece of bread from her satchel. The wolf, surprised by her kindness, stepped aside and guided her safely through the forest. Next, Seraphina reached the Whispering Falls, a cascading waterfall where the water seemed to sing in a language only the wind could understand. To cross the falls, she needed to leap from stone to stone, but the current was strong, and the rocks were slippery. As she stood at the edge, a falcon swooped down from the sky, carrying a vine in its beak. The falcon dropped the vine to Seraphina, who used it to steady herself as she crossed the falls, thanking the bird with a smile. Finally, after many days of travel, Seraphina arrived at the foot of the misty mountains. The peaks were shrouded in clouds, and the air was cool and thin. As she began her ascent, the path became steep and treacherous. But Seraphina pressed on, driven by her love for her kingdom and the hope of saving the Tree of Radiance. At last, she reached a small cave near the mountain summit. Inside, the air was warm, and the walls were lined with glowing crystals that bathed the cave in a soft, ethereal light. There, sitting by a small fire, was the Oracle of the Mountains, a woman with silver hair and eyes that sparkled with the wisdom of the stars. "Welcome, Seraphina," the Oracle said in a voice as soothing as a lullaby. "I have been expecting you." Seraphina knelt before the Oracle and told her of the Tree of Radiance and the fading light in Eldoria. The Oracle listened carefully, her eyes never leaving Seraphina's. "When the light of the Tree of Radiance dims," the Oracle began, "it is because the magic that sustains it is weakening. The tree draws its strength from the love and harmony in the hearts of the people. But the world has grown more troubled, and that magic is waning. To restore the tree's light, you must rekindle the flame of unity and compassion within your kingdom." The Oracle handed Seraphina a small vial filled with a glowing golden liquid. "This is the essence of hope," she explained. "When you return to Eldoria, pour this essence into the roots of the Tree of Radiance. But remember, Seraphina, the essence alone will not save the tree. The people of Eldoria must also renew their commitment to kindness, love, and unity. Only then will the tree's light be fully restored." Seraphina thanked the Oracle and began her journey back to Eldoria. As she traveled, she thought about the Oracle's words and the importance of bringing her people together. Upon returning to the kingdom, she went straight to the Tree of Radiance and poured the essence of hope into its roots. The tree glowed faintly, but Seraphina knew that the real work was just beginning. Seraphina spoke to the people of Eldoria, sharing the Oracle's message. She encouraged them to rekindle the bonds of friendship and love that had once been so strong in their hearts. The people listened, and slowly but surely, they began to change. Acts of kindness spread through the kingdom like wildfire. Neighbors helped one another, families reunited, and the joy of unity filled the air. As the people of Eldoria came together, the Tree of Radiance responded. Its leaves, once dim, began to shine brighter and brighter until they sparkled like the stars in the night sky. The light of the tree spread across the land, bringing life and color back to Eldoria. Queen Alara, moved by the transformation, praised Seraphina for her courage and wisdom. "You have saved our kingdom, Seraphina, not with a sword or spell, but with the power of love and unity. You have shown us the true magic that lies within our hearts." And so, Eldoria was restored to its former glory, more vibrant and beautiful than ever before. The Tree of Radiance stood tall, a beacon of hope and harmony, its light a reminder of the power of kindness and the strength of unity. Seraphina became a beloved figure in the kingdom, known as the Heart of Eldoria, for she had shown everyone that the greatest magic of all is the love we share. And they all lived happily ever after.